The first person to turn into a zombie in the Walking Dead universe, the famous Patient Zero. Who was it? If you watch the shows, the spin-offs, you can find these answers. Is there any point that was left open? What the producers said about it so far? Well, I want to say that in some way we have the first person who turned into a zombie. And in this video I'm going to explain how and why. So if you want to know, if you want to understand, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel. My name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about the Walking Dead universe again. But now it's about zombies, especially about zombies. Let's talk about the Patient Zero, the first person that transformed like this. This is something that a lot of people used to ask. This show already answered. In some ways we can answer this, but in other ways there are still open questions. And also I will tell where they will answer more about this. So let's go, but first don't forget to check the like in this video. It helps me a lot with the promotion of this video, and also don't forget to subscribe here if you like this content. If you want more content about the Walking Dead universe, I like to thank you for your patience with my English. As I used to say in all my videos, it's not my native language, but I'm trying to practice more and more. And there we go. Yeah, The Walking Dead, since its origin, the main show, has always been a zombie series, showing some point of the beginning of the outbreak, but not everything. It shows that people were contaminated and other things. But so, the main show itself, due to its focus there on Rick, already skips several stages of the beginning of the apocalypse. First zombies, the origin, which even today we do not have the clarification about the exact origin of this infection. But I like to say, with some new seasons for the new spin-offs that are coming, we will understand more. For example, the Daryl spin-off. I will talk more about this later, but that's not the main point. Let's go back to the main show, with its journey there, which has the focus on the survivors, focusing on the story of Rick and the group there. And from that, specifically in 2015, the first spin-off emerged. Yeah, especially in 2014, we had the announcement of Fear the Walking Dead, a spin-off that takes place in the same universe, which promised to tell a different perspective with other survivors. But the main purpose of Fear the Walking Dead was to show the beginning of the outbreak. It was the main thing that sold the show and generated the anticipation. Like, most of the fans were very excited with the information that a spin-off of The Walking Dead was coming to finally tell how the walkers began. It was promised, you know, that through the story of Madison, the protagonist of the show, we would have the perspective of the beginning, the first days, which had not been shown in The Walking Dead. And yeah, this gave an extreme result, so much so that, for those who don't know, the apocalyptic show in history that had the highest audience in its premiere was Fear the Walking Dead. It wasn't The Walking Dead, it wasn't The Last of Us that was successful on HBO, it wasn't any other, it was Fear. 10 million simultaneous people watching to be able to see the beginning of the outbreak, and yeah, it wasn't very well shown, right? The beginning of everything was shown in a very shallow way. Everyone knows that, and this made people to start to lose the interest on the show, but that's it. Talking about the story of this spin-off, Fear introduced us to Patient Zero in this universe, who at the same time, it's not the Patient Zero. And you can ask, what do you mean it's Patient Zero and it's not the same? Let me explain. Yeah, there's a lot that many people don't know about this person. Basically, you know, the spin-off starts, Fear itself, starts with Nick. The focus there on Madison's son, waking up in a place he's addicted to chemical, used drugs, waking up from an overdose he had later, and finding the place very strange, recognizing the place, hearing strange noises, looking for his girlfriend, named Gloria. A lot of people remember her, but there's a lot of people who don't know much about this character. In the second season of Fear, we have a flashback moment there in episode 8, which shows the first time Nick's moments with Gloria before. You know, before the beginning of the outbreak. From what it seems, Nick and Gloria met at a rehab clinic as addicts there. They were there to be able to solve this problem. She was a person who encouraged him a lot to have a reunion with his parents and other things to improve. Yes, she was a very close girlfriend. This, by the way, is her face without being zombified. The first time we see her face when she's still alive. And yeah, going back to the situation of the first episode, Nick, after looking for his girlfriend a lot, after the madness he had, he finds her. But he finds her eating parts of a person's body. And when the scene closes up on her face, she has already become a zombie. And yeah, talking about the production, people behind this, we have a statement from the showrunner about it. The guy who ruled the show at this time. If you don't know Dave Erickson, he was the showrunner for for Fear the Walking Dead for seasons 1 to 3. Well, after the initial events, we had a show after The Walking Dead, that is Talking Dead, which always has people who participated in the show giving interviews. And Dave Erickson confirmed that Gloria is patient zero of The Walking Dead, but with the following words: she was the first infected and that's it. Yeah, but that is where we find a problem. This interview from the showrunner confused a lot of things. That's the thing I said in the beginning of this video. She's the patient zero, but at the same time, she's not. Many people believe that Gloria is the patient zero and that's enough because the purpose of Fear the Walking Dead was to show the beginning of the outbreak. People think this is the first person in the story of The Walking Dead who was infected by the zombie problem. There hasn't been another person who has become a zombie before in the story, but I have to say, no, she's not the first zombie in the story, the first zombie of the world. One thing, the title she had was the first one we see, you know, in TV, in some The Walking Dead episode. And also, she's the first human we see having had this infection, chronologically. But no, she wasn't the first zombie of the world. One thing, by the way, that I need to get out of the way here is that people used to think that Fear showed the origin of the zombie infection, which came from a drug. There are many people who think that it's the drug because the girl died on a overdose, but no. Again, she's the first zombie we have on screen in this universe, but she's not the first zombie in this universe. The point is, she was the first person in Los Angeles to turn into a zombie after getting the zombie infection, because everyone is infected in this world. She was the first. She was the first to transform in Los Angeles. But I have to say, in other places in the world, there were zombies before. Nowadays, if you watch the last episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond, the spin-off, the episode 10 of season 2, if you watched the post-credit scene, and also if you watched the first season of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, you know that it all started in France. And also we get to know more in the second season of Daryl Dixon that is coming. If you want some weekly reviews about these episodes, talking about the Easter eggs and reference, just write in the comments. But let's keep talking about the zombie because there's more. An additional point is that at the beginning, the CDC doctor, Edwin Jenner, also says in episode 5 of season 1, there was 194 days since they declared the wildfire, so 194 days since they discovered the virus, and in that moment of the video, just 63 days that the zombie virus became global. It all started much earlier than we imagined. If we do the math, we can understand that scientists discovered the zombie infection 4 months before the outbreak. This is another point that proves that Gloria was not the first zombie. But okay, it's not her, but talking about her, what is the point for her to be the first zombie in this city? From the story of Fear, we can understand that both she and Nick used heroin, which is a type of drug that when used extensively can knock a person out. And you can ask, why didn't Nick transform? Why didn't Nick die there? The producers explained, yeah, this explanation comes from the point of view of his weight and physical condition, which were greater than his girlfriend. The dose that the two ended up receiving was not enough to kill him. Although it almost killed, but it was enough to kill Gloria. She just turned into a zombie because she died. It wasn't the zombie infection that killed her. She died from drugs, and she was already one of several people in the world who were already infected. Dr. Jenner himself from the CDC tells Rick in his ear that everyone is infected. Anyone in the world at the moment who dies becomes a zombie, no matter what the cause. The big point here then is to find out this infection spread, how it got to it first. For example, got to everyone together. Someone, at least in this city, had to die to become a zombie. There's a theory that the explanation of the spread of the infection happened through the water, plumbing and such passed through everyone. Also, there's another theory that it was through the air. We don't know the truth. This explanation is still pending, and there's a possibility that it also will be explained in Daryl's spin-off, maybe in season 2 or maybe season 3 that is filming right now. But yeah, back to the point, who was Gloria? What else do we know about her? What about her story, what she is? There is no answer. In Fear the Walking Dead, we don't have an explanation of who her father is, how she lived. It just shows that she's a good and caring person. And yeah, they could make a web episode about her, they could make an episode from Tales of the Walking Dead, this other spin-off that back in 2023 they confirmed the next season. They can do some episode about Gloria, but showing more how the infection got to her. But yeah, for those who are wondering, she was the main responsible for starting the chaos in Los Angeles. The answer is not to spread the zombie infection, because everyone already had it, but yes, she started to causing people to die. After that, it was like hours for the city of Los Angeles to start falling. And from what we see in the first season of Fear, very few days so that there was nothing left. You know, so that the army was even forced to execute the last phase of Operation Cobalt there, which is to bomb everything. They bombed Los Angeles, they bombed Atlanta, they bombed a lot of big cities around the country. Also, I have to say, I can do some video about the Operation Operation Cobalt, explaining everything about this operation if you like. And yeah, she's the patient zero, the first zombie we see in the screen. But no, she's not the first zombie in the story. Go right in the comments. What are you curious to know more about it? Do you think they should tell us more about the infection spread? What do you think about this infection spread? It was water? It was by air? Write it there. And also, don't forget to check the like in this video if you liked it. If you want some videos about Daryl Dixon spin-off, we probably will have more explanations about the real Patient Zero. It's confirmed some flashback scenes from the beginning of the outbreak in France. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching here. I'll be back soon and bye.